Yes. So the question is whether it's a good idea to go fully remote or in office. Right. So here's one part of the issue. Maybe you're forced to work remote, right? So if you have a shortage in your talent pipeline, then you don't have really much of a choice, right? Because you have to continue working with people that you can get your hands on. So maybe you're forced to hire people from other states or maybe even from other countries because you just don't have access to a lot of talent. So that's one part of an issue of going remote or not. The second part would be, I've read this comment the other day on Twitter. It was from the managing partner of a CPA firm, something like 60-ish people working at the firm. Now, he made a claim that there were no disadvantages to, in his opinion, to working remote. What I think you should also consider is, it depends on the industry you're in, right? But let's say if we're talking about the CPA firms, for instance, there's just huge demand for accounting services at the moment, and therefore, since not many CPA firms or most of them don't have capacity, and there's such a huge demand, buyers don't have any other options, and so they're forced to go with whatever prices and whoever is prices are out there and whoever is available among the CPA firms. So while the demand is good, you might think that everything is great. But here's the thing. People who work remotely don't have much of an opportunity to share knowledge. And the reason for that is that people, human beings, we tend to learn and transfer skills and knowledge better when we're mingling, right? So when we're in the same environment, and I mean physically. So because we tend to share stories, gossip, we watch each other work and we learn from others' mistakes. So remote work doesn't offer that much of an opportunity to do all those things. Well, to some degree it can, but not on a scale that you would get from working in the premises of your firm. What that leads to is that failure to transfer knowledge and skills may not be a huge of a problem at the moment, right? Because you have high demand, but the demand will drop eventually. And what's going to happen next is, since you've been milking the cow all these years, the cow will eventually run out of milk. And so if no one was thinking about making hay, which is investing in the future, then there will be no more milk from the cow. As the demand drops and your people haven't really excelled at transferring skills and knowledge, and they haven't developed any, they were just, milking the cow, doing what they were able to do and getting better at what they were able to do, but not necessarily expanding their skills and knowledge. And so, the junior people that came on board hadn't had the opportunity to improve their skills because of the knowledge transfer issue, right? So in that situation, what will happen inevitably is that as the demand for services drops, there will be a lot more price pressure because the firm will be considered by the buyers as a commodity, basically. So the demand drops, prices will drop, and so the competitiveness of the firm will be dubious. So when you're thinking about going remote, I'd suggest just considering this part of the equation, the transfer of knowledge and skill. Yeah, especially if you're hiring, let's say, junior people, because maybe your senior staff, they're smart and they're capable, they know what they do, and maybe they don't even need to invest time an effort into learning something new because, well, maybe in 5 years they're going to be out. And I mean, retire, right? So there is no pressure for them to develop their skills or deepen the expertise. But for the junior people, they need to learn. And the way they can learn faster and better is through the knowledge transfer. And that usually happens better, a lot better, when people work closely in an office setting, right? So an environment where people can physically interact with one another.